Welcome back to the Burr Shed and another episode of the Burr Brew. Today I'm going to be bottling my third batch of beer. This time it's a draft, as I told you in previous videos. It's actually a little bit over 3 weeks since I put this batch into the brewing drum. Last week I had some little surgery done, as some of you may know, just over a week ago. So last weekend at the 2-week mark, I couldn't bottle the beer, so it's been in the drum now for 21, 22, 23 days. So we'll see how it goes. I have read that you can leave the brew in the drum for months. It's not going to go off as long as you don't allow oxygen to go in there. It'll be fine, and you can bottle it whenever. The second fermentation starts when you put the beer in the bottles with some sugar, and that produces the gas that you get when you drink and enjoy the beer. So I'm going to start putting the sugar in the bottles, and then going to start the bottling. And then later on today, I'm going to open a bottle from my second brew. That's now also 23 days since bottling. And the bottle's been inside in the wardrobe, so it's been in a warmer atmosphere. So it might be all right, I'm hoping. I did taste some at the 2-week mark, or just over 2 weeks last Sunday, and I made a little video. I put a little bit of that footage in this video. But well, welcome back to the Burr Shed for a very short episode of the Burr Brew this time. This is now the opening of the first bottle of the second brew. It's the 6th of June, so today is 16 days since I bottled this. It's okay. Definitely it's better than my first batch was after 2 weeks. But we'll see. Next Sunday I'll open another bottle and see if it has improved in its taste and texture after being in the bottle for another week. I'm going to start the bottling now. I'm going to start putting some sugar in the bottles. I'll probably make a few comments, but most of this will just be cut and forwarded to the end, and we'll see if there's any mishaps along the way. They might provide a little bit of fun if I have a big spill or something, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, I'm going to start putting sugar in the bottles now. Now I'm going to put a little bit more sugar in than before. I've been putting 1 tablespoon in, but it's been struggling to have enough gas in the bottle. The bottles haven't really gone hard, so I'm going to put one heat tablespoon like this, and half a spoon. I don't know if you can see that. It's about half a spoon. All right, I've put sugar in 10 bottles. I'll fill them up, and we'll see how we go with the bottling now. I did tell you last time I had the bottling one that had come just after the first bottling, but the end just wouldn't stay on. It was very loose. So what I've done, I don't know if it's hygienic or not, I put a little bit of hot glue on the side there just to keep it from falling off. And I did flare the end. I heated up the plastic pipe a little bit and just flared the end, so it was already tight before I put the glue on. I just put a dab of glue as a precaution, so that hoping that it won't come off. So I'm going to start the bottling. I am going to put the hose directly into the bottle before I open the tap, just in case the end doesn't hold. If it doesn't hold, then beer will go everywhere. So, but I'm going to test it by lifting it up off the bottom after I turn the spigot on to see if it holds. It's filling up quite nicely now. And I'm just going to test the stopping. lift it out, the flow stops. It's working as it should. So this should make filling the bottles a lot easier. I don't have to keep turning the tap off and on. This is fun. I'm quite happy to be making my own beer, especially if it's going to start turning out to be an enjoyable drop. So you're not just drinking a beer for the sake of having a beer, but you can actually enjoy. Yeah. This is what I want to make next. Burr Stout. So these uneven bits here, I don't know how clear it is in the video, but it's a clear rise on the lip just there, which means that even though I had it tightly shut, it would have been leaking from there, and that's why I had the brew overflowing, because I had it quite full, and when it was really brewing, because it was quite warm at the start, I had beer coming out all over the drum, and it would have been coming from there and there, because the rest of it is nice and smooth. But yeah, just those couple of bits. I've left some yeast in there, gotta clean it a bit more. Just giving it a quick rinse, but had to clean that properly. But yeah, I just thought I'd show you that, and I might make a little video on how to fix that. Okay, now the drum's been trimmed. I think I've got a fairly smooth lip on the drum, so the seal hopefully will seal nicely. I've put the extract in there for stout and the sugar, and mixed it up. So I'm just going to be filling it in. The little hose, I got this hose coming from my through my laundry window. Like I said before, I'm not allowed to lift anymore, so I've got to do it with a little hose. So this makeshift for now. We'll see if we can make something more permanent for the future. But I've got a little tap on the line here. I can just turn that, and the water will start coming in. It will take a long time, so it's going to be a bit of fast forwarding happening here. So we'll see how it goes. I've got a little bit of warm water coming from the tap I want to make sure it's warm enough for the yeast to start. So yeah, so it definitely is too warm now for adding yeast. So I'm going to go and turn the hot off altogether and just have cold water running in there for a while and see what. That worked very well. Just a little. This is from an old water filter system. So I'll put the yeast in. I'll just open it up like so. So when you look at it, I don't know if you can see in there, it looks just like baker's yeast. Where's the camera over there? Not really focusing on. If you can see, it's just granules like baker's yeast. I use quite a lot when I'm baking, but getting used to the brewer's yeast now. Sprinkle that on top. I'll let you have a look inside there. So there you can see the temperature. It's 26 is still slightly highlighted, but it's 24, so I'm very confident that it's not too hot for the yeast. And if you have a look, I don't know if you can see in there. Well, I don't know if that's not the funniest thing you've ever seen. I was showing you the inside of the drum, and as you can see, and I dropped my phone in there. I'm still recording. I don't know for how long, but yeah, it was a bit of fun. Okay, so we're at the stage now. We're going to taste a glass full of beer from my second batch. Now this is 3 days, or actually 23 days after it was bottled. I did a little tasting last Sunday, which was 7 days ago. So that was just over 2 weeks. But I couldn't really taste much back then, but now we'll see how it goes. So I've got a nice glass here. It's a good Coke bottle. But there's not much fizz when you open it. It pours like a beer. So you've got to be a little bit careful not to get too much froth so you can actually enjoy the beer. So it pours like a beer. It looks like a beer. Very nice looking. I'm very happy with that. Looks like a proper pale ale. I'd sit down and share this with someone. Sorry. To me, it tastes really nice. It tastes like a proper beer. I'm very happy with it. And again, that's 3+ weeks since bottling. And these bottles have been actually inside in my wardrobe. So they have been in a warmer atmosphere than they would have been in my shed, where the nighttime temperature is the same as the outside temperature. It's insulated, but there's no heating in there. So if it drops to 4 degrees outside, it's 4 degrees in there. So the fermentation, the second fermentation, which gives you the gas, is much slower at those temperatures. So keeping the bottles in the shed, I may have to leave them there for a month before it's drinkable. But this, I'm very happy to say, is very nice. Yeah, that's enjoyable. As you saw just a few moments ago, I dropped my bottle into my fermentation barrel. Went to the very bottom. I had to fish it out when it came out. It was still recording. I rinsed it out under the garden hose and dried it up. And it started acting a bit funny, so I turned it off. I went and got this glass and bottle from the fridge and freezer and sat down here, and I was going to do this video on the video camera, but the memory card was full, so I don't know how much I missed from fishing out my camera from the beer barrel. Maybe I didn't get any of that. It might have all gone by the by with the full memory card. So I'll be taking all the videos off the memory card and formatting it, and going to be using it a bit more, making these videos. I'm still learning. Making videos is quite a chore for me because I haven't done it before. I should maybe speak to somebody who makes videos and ask them for a few pointers. But I've just been looking at YouTube videos and editing and trying to edit out bits that are not so interesting. And of course, most people won't find any of this interesting, but it's interesting for me. It's my hobby, making a little shed for myself where I can tinker and store stuff and brew my beer. And when it turns out as good as this has turned out, I'm very happy. This is really, really, really nice. It looks the part, it tastes the part. It's just a nice ale. So I don't know how much longer you can sit there looking at me drinking a glass of beer. Maybe you turned off already. maybe I'd rather turn off. That's all right. I don't mind. Thank you for watching. This is another episode from the Burr Shed about the Burr Brew. Thank you.